Hey, what's going on, film fans? Ha! Psych! No, what? Film, movies, what's that? No, that's not what we're talking about today. Today it's TV. And you know that because you've already read the title. So yeah. This is, if you've seen my other videos going through my movie collections, this is going to be exactly that, but it's TV shows. Don't get too excited though, because it's all DVDs, except for literally 2 of them. I have 2 Blu-rays that are TV shows. Everything else is DVDs. And I'm not the biggest TV collector in the world. I'm not that dedicated to TV. I'm a pretty bad TV watcher, actually, because I get bored. Or not even bored. I stop watching and then I just don't end up returning to shows sometimes. That's just a thing I do sometimes. But I've been realizing just how good TV has become in the past, decade or whatever, and I really want to catch up on stuff. So 2021 is it's going to be my year of TV. Like, I'm going to watch the great shows that I've heard about being so good, like True Detective. I'm going to probably finish Fargo, maybe. I was going to try and get into Game of Thrones again, which was a show that I wasn't a massive fan of when I tried it a couple years ago. I don't know. There's a bunch of shows I want to watch. I recently watched the show Barry, which is awesome. It's so good. Please watch Barry if you haven't seen it. What else is there? I don't know. I'm going to watch Watchmen. Haven't seen that yet. There are so many TV shows that I have not watched that you would probably yell at me for right now. And, I'm not proud of it. But anyway, that's not really the point. The point is, what are we getting at? We're getting at like 2 minutes already. Fucking intro. I always want these videos to be as short as I can possibly make them. But, while still keeping up that quality. I don't want it to just be, this, whatever, fuck you. No, I want to talk about each thing. But I want it to be brisk. I want it to be fun, energetic. That's the plan. So why am I explaining this out loud and making the video even longer by saying this? I don't know. Let's get into talking about the TV shows that are in my TV show collection. Okay, starting off with one that I just watched in the last week or so, because I got the Australian streaming service called Binge. So if you're interested in this, check that out. Called The Night Of, and it's fantastic. It's like a mini-series, limited series, whatever we're calling them nowadays. 8 episodes, they're about an hour long each, and it's about this guy who ends up going to prison, and things look really bad for him. I don't want to say too much. I don't know what would be counted as a spoiler or not, but basically it's about this guy going to prison, this young guy who's done nothing wrong in his life prior to the events of this, and it's about how his family deals with that and the lawyers who try and get him out of this situation, all that kind of stuff. It's very interesting, fantastic, and it stars my, not my favorite actor, but an actor from my second favorite movie, or let's be honest, it's teetering. I'm not sure. It's like it could be my favorite movie of 2020. Riz Ahmed from The Sound of Metal. Fantastic show, and it's one of the only shows that I actually have on Blu-ray. But it's really good because it's short. You can just kind of binge through it, which isn't something that I always do because like I said, I'm bad at binging through TV shows sometimes because things just don't hook me. But this one I watched in 2 days, and I was just blown away by it. It's so good. Okay, now next up, so I'm kind of going through categories here of genres and stuff, but it gets a bit mixed up by the end because I want to save some favorites for the end and stuff like that. But starting off now, I'm going to start off with a favorite as well. Not all the TV shows I have here are favorites, which I'll get into in a second. But generally, this is the comedies that I have. All right? Comedy TV show. So you ready? Okay, so starting off is all of Scrubs, the entire series of Scrubs. Yep, all 8 of them. All 8 seasons of Scrubs. 8. There are 8 seasons of Scrubs. That's right. 8, 8, 8. Ninth season. No. Who? Get out of my house. Who are you? There's no 9th season. That's made up. Okay, look, there is a 9th season, but it doesn't really count, and it is just a huge betrayal to the perfect ending that is season 8. That is perfect and beautiful, makes me cry, and Yeah, I love this show so much, except for season 9. I watched it through every single year of high school, which if you are not Australian, you probably think. If you're American, you're like, oh, only 4 times. No, high school is 6 years here. Fuck you. But yeah, no, Scrubs is a very, very special show to me. I've watched it probably about 10 times or so. It's awesome. I love this show so much. It's heartfelt in pretty much every episode. There's actually something meaningful. There's actually a story, something trying to be said in every single episode. It's not just your typical. It's not just your typical sitcom. It actually it does things so differently. It has great music in it. It really is able to slow down for a lot of it and get serious. It's not scared to get serious. I really appreciate it for that. There are multiple episodes that can make you cry. Some fantastic episodes. Some involving Brendan Fraser, who was in a few episodes. Oh, good episodes, I'll tell you that much. And, you know, for early 2000s and everything, this was a sitcom that didn't have a laugh track. And it was just really fresh and original. Like, it's so good. Oh, and if you don't know, I mean, you can probably tell by looking at it and whatever. It's a show about doctors. Just a 20-minute comedy show and whatever. And yeah, the whole series is fucking fantastic. Alright, getting into more comedies. This might be a longer video than I was expecting. I was like, yeah, this video is going to be 40 minutes. Might be an hour or longer. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, next up is very underrated show called, I nearly said movie, show called Freaks and Geeks. It only had 1 season, got cancelled tragically way too early. It's an early works of Judd Apatow, and it stars pretty much everybody who has become famous because of his movies since. A lot of people in the comedy area, like Seth Rogen, James Franco, a bunch of other people. And it's super damn good. I've watched it quite a few times. It's 18 episodes, which isn't a bad length for a season. You know, nowadays with a Netflix series, this, 18 episodes could technically be 3 seasons. But as it is, it's 1 season and it doesn't really have a real ending, which is pretty disappointing. But yeah, ahead of its time, and unfortunately got cut way too short for how long it should have gone. Then there's Community, seasons 1 to 4. I don't have 5, 6, what did they get up to? 6 in a movie, right? And I haven't seen it all. I actually never saw the last couple seasons. I thought it started to get a bit bad. I think I started season 5 and I wasn't a massive fan of it. And then I kind of just dropped out on it. I'm sure it's still good, but it didn't engage me. And like I said, I'm a bad TV show watcher sometimes. So yeah, it's something I should probably get around to. First couple of seasons are pretty good. They're way more standard as compared to the later ones. Especially the first season. I actually watched the first season a few months ago, going back to it. And it's really... it's just really standard. It's just a show that's trying to be a bit funny, and there are genuine characters and stuff. And you know, it's a bit silly and stuff, but it's nothing compared to I don't know what season 3 and stuff onwards brings. Everything gets meta. Every single episode soon becomes a Treehouse of Horror episode of The Simpsons, because it's always got some sort of gimmick to it, some sort of premise that sets it apart. It's making fun of a movie, or it's something like that. They get really meta, really deep into pop culture references and everything later in this show. And it's there. You can definitely see it in the early seasons, but nothing like the next 2. So I like 3 and 4 more than 1 and 2, I think. Maybe I like 2 and 3 the most. I don't know. I forget, to be honest, but I haven't seen onwards. But it's good. It's a really, really smart show. It's fucking hilarious. The characters are so good. And then next up is My Name is Earl. This is the entire series. It's 1, 2, 4. It's fine. It's an okay show. I used to like it quite a bit. I don't know. I don't have too much to say about that one. It's alright. It's a good premise for a show, but yeah, it's a bit dated. You know, you can tell that this is a show from 2005 or whatever year this came out. And you know, I think it's 24 episodes a season and stuff. That's just not how TV shows do it nowadays, but you know, it's really good still. I like it. Then I've got Modern Family seasons 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Like I said, I'm not quite the completionist when it comes to TV shows, like I am with movies. So yeah, just some random seasons of Modern Family, which I actually like quite a lot. I'm kind of a fan of this show. But I don't know if I'd buy it now. This is kind of just a show that I would stream. As for a lot of the shows that I'm probably going to go through and have already gone through, I do not regret buying Scrubs in the slightest. That is definitely a show I want to own. My Name is Earl, though, like, I really don't need to own that. Like, I've streamed a lot. Like, when I watch shows nowadays, I'm pretty much exclusively streaming. I know I'm the big physical media guy, but I also like streaming and convenience, okay? Arrest me, jeez. But, yeah, I don't know. Some of these I would have. I guess I'll tell you which ones I would buy now and which ones I would probably just stream. Modern Family I would probably just stream, but that being said, I do like it a lot. And that being said, there's nothing wrong with streaming things. Like, if you're a physical media collector watching this and I'm sickening you or something, calm down. It's okay. I've watched plenty of really good stuff that I have just streamed. Like Barry, I probably won't buy Barry unless I see it cheap, maybe. If there even is a Blu-ray of Barry, I don't even know. When it comes to TV shows like HBO shows and stuff, there's not always the Blu-ray, is there? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not super knowledgeable about the collecting of TV shows. It's just not ever been my priority. I like having some, but it's just, yeah, it's not my priority. I might even, who knows, maybe I'll get rid of some of the shows that I have. Probably not, though, because come on, I love physical media. I don't want to get rid of anything. And continuing the comedy genre of these is How I Met Your Mother. This is just season 1. It's the only season I have. I used to have seasons 1 to 5, but my sister took them because she likes this show a lot more than I do. I used to really like it when I was younger, but then I, grew up a little and I'm like, yeah, it's alright. I don't know. The Barney character is really sexist and that is kind of annoying to me more than anything. I remember liking it quite a lot. I'm sure it's still alright, but I did try to go back and rewatch this maybe a year or two ago and I was like, this isn't as good as I remember. Like, it's fine. It's not bad, but it's not like, I used to love this. This used to be, I think, my favorite show ever when I was younger. Now, not so much. I don't know. So season 1 is the only one I have. I don't know. If I see him in op shops for like $2, maybe I'll buy more seasons, but yeah, that's kind of the thing. Some of these I did get pretty cheap and that's why I've got them. But a lot of them, to be honest, looking at the whole, I'm surrounded by them at the moment. A lot of them I did buy full price, to be honest, because I got these years ago. Like, a lot of the TV shows that I've got here are not shows that I bought recently. The Night Of is one that I bought recently. Everything else would have been like at least, 4-5 years ago or more. Okay, next up is Cougar Town, which is better than the title suggests. This is from the creator of Scrubs. What's his name? Bill. I know it. Bill something. Does it say? Yeah, the creator of Scrubs, and it's okay. Like, it's not the best show, but like, it is better than the title suggests. Like, Cougar Town sounds pretty shitty. Apparently I got this one 2 for $30 at some point. I don't know. Then there is the first 3 seasons of Friends. These are the only ones I have. 1 to 3 for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll complete this collection at some point if I can find them cheap, but it's not a massive priority to me. Like I said, I'm pretty sure, like, I streamed all of these like 2 years ago or something on Prime or Stan or whatever it was on. Stan is an Australian streaming service. Don't worry about it, people who are like, Stan, what the hell's Stan? No, it's not an Eminem music video streaming service that shows only exclusively the music video for Eminem's Stan. It's not that. Maybe it should be. Maybe it would get more money. I don't know. And then, last off, for just the general kind of sitcom-y stuff, like I said, I don't have a ton. I don't have like 1,000 billion shows or anything. It's not my priority. But Parks and Recreation, seasons 1 to 7, which I believe is all of them. I've watched this show all the way through a couple times. Big fan of it. The cast is, you pretty much can't get better than the cast of this show. It's so damn good. And yeah, it's awesome. That's about it. Alrighty, now we get into horror shows. Ooh, spooky. Ooh. So I've got Supernatural seasons 1 to 8. 1, do I have to do this? 3, that's the order. 2, 4, there you go, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I used to love this show more than life itself when I was younger. Weirdly, because I was so scared of anything that was horror related. But for some reason, you know, Supernatural didn't scare me. I guess because it was kind of funny, it was kind of quirky, it was more dramatic than scary. Sam and Dean, you know, they were my boys for a good time. And I still quote Supernatural to this day because me and my wife will quote something that they used to say at the start of every episode, where it was the road so far, which was just like previously on Supernatural. It would always have the clip of Bobby Singer saying, "There's a storm coming, you boys, you're right in the middle of it." And me and my wife always say that for some reason. It's just become a part of our words that we say. What is that? Vocabulary. Fuck, I'm stupid. Anyway, Supernatural is great, but it should have ended at season 5 because, come on, season 5 had the best ending, and then it just kind of kept going, and I have not seen season 7 and 8, to be honest. I've started 7 a little bit. I did watch 6, and I've never been able to get through any further than that. And I've tried multiple times, but I just don't care after season 5. I really just don't. But it's a great show prior to that. I'm sure there's great stuff after that, but I wouldn't know. Apparently the ending is really shit as well. I don't know what happens, but apparently it's bad. So there you go. Then next up is this really underrated show called Dead Set, which is this kind of weird mockumentary kind of thing, I suppose. It's based on a show, and look at that, I got my $2 sticker and whatever, got this from a video shop. But it's based on this group of people who are going into the Big Brother house, this reality show Big Brother. And they kind of live there for a bit and whatever, but then zombies come, and it's like a zombie Big Brother, and they don't know anything's going on at first, and yeah, they have to adjust to the zombie apocalypse kind of thing. And the way I'm describing it sounds really fucking stupid, but it's way better than it sounds, actually. This is a fantastic show, and it's only like 4 episodes or something, I believe. And it's pretty cool. It's English. It may or may not be by the Black Mirror people. I don't know if it is, to be honest, but it feels like it should be. And also, apparently, and I didn't know this because I haven't watched this for a few years, if I'm being honest, but Riz Ahmed is in this from Sound of Metal and The Night Of. So, yeah, I need to rewatch this because I remember it being really fucking good. Yeah. And then there is The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. You kept going, didn't you? You're still going, aren't you? Aren't you, little boy? Little Walking Dead boy. You're still going. Why? Just stop. Just don't keep going. You don't need to. No one wants that. But apparently some people do. Seasons 1 to 5. Again, it's another one that used to be one of my favorite shows of all time from seasons 1 and 2. 3 was still good, but it started to get a little bit repetitive because it kept being Rick and his group going to some safe haven, and then, oh no, somebody's here to wreck that. The safe haven is going to be ruined. No! And then there's a big fight and whatever. And then a new safe haven. There's a new place. Paradise. Woo! And then somebody comes and wrecks it. And it's like, oh no! It's ruined! And then they're on the road for a little bit. And then it's like, oh! A new safe haven! Yeah! And then it's just repetitive. It's just the same shit over and over and over. And that's kind of where I dropped out. I think I dropped out season 5. This was the last one that I saw. Honestly, it could have been season 4. I don't know. I do think it's fantastic prior to that, and I do want to one day finish it because I think there's something in there that is great. I think the characters are great. I think that the show overall is really good. It just needs to get out of the rut that it's in. And maybe it has. I've heard it's gotten better again since. And maybe that's true and it kind of makes me want to watch it. But as of right now, I did drop out at one point and I have not returned since. But I have watched the first 2 seasons numerous times, to be honest. I absolutely love them. Especially, and it's a hot take, but Season 2 is my shit, man. I love Season 2. Everyone says it's boring. They just go to a farm and whatever, and they hang out and nothing happens. I like it. I like it a lot. The character drama, particularly between Rick and Shane, the best stuff in the entire series. John Bernthal, please, he needs to be in more stuff. I absolutely love the character of Shane. I know you're supposed to hate him. I know that a lot of people do. And he is a villain. He is an asshole, but he makes good points. And he's just an interesting character to watch. I don't necessarily agree with him. It's kind of a love to hate him character, but I think it's a compelling character. And I think John Bernthal helps with that because I love John Bernthal. And yeah, I don't know. I think the show kind of started to get a bit worse once Shane died, to be honest. I really fucking liked Shane. And I know he dies in like really early on in the comics because I read most of the comics. But yeah, it never got bad. It just got repetitive is all. That's really its big sin, if you ask me. And I just kind of started to get sick of it. Also, after Season 3, I've always hated how they've structured this. So Season 3 has the governor dude, right? And he comes and he attacks the prison. They have a big war at the prison and whatever. Or do they not? I don't know. Something climactic happens with the prison. And then they fuck off. Governor's gone, right? But then, first half of Season 4, they're at the prison. And guess what happens? The governor comes back and they have a big fucking war at the prison and then they can't go back to the prison. It gets ruined and then they have to leave. Why? The first half of Season 4 is such a waste of time. And that is my opinion. And then they're on the road for ages and they're following the train tracks or something and there's that Abraham guy and all these other people. I don't know. I stopped watching. I never got to Negan. I never even saw Negan, to be honest. Sue me. Then next up is a show that I never finished. I only watched the first few of. It's Castle Rock, which was technically good. There was nothing wrong with it, but it never grabbed me and I don't know why. I watched the first episode a few years ago on a plane on the way back or to holidays or something. I don't remember. And yep, I came back, I bought the DVD with the intent to watch the rest, and I just never did. I watched 1 and 2, episodes 1 and 2, maybe 3, and then I stopped again. It's just not something that I felt like I really had to return to, you know? Then there is, and there's still the stickers on these, American Horror Story Murder House. Is that what it's called? Hell House. Something like that. I don't know. The first season of American Horror Story. And it's funny because I guess they didn't know yet. They just called this American Horror Story the complete first season, but the rest of them all have names. But the first season is the best one. This should have been a mini-series and it should have ended right there because it had an ending. Clearly they planned it out. Everything made sense, came full circle at the end. I absolutely love this first season. I like how it's still in the wrapping though. But then there is American Horror Story Asylum, which was good for the most part, but then really shits the bed by the end and just kind of is fucking stupid by the end. It's just clearly this is the problem with a lot of the seasons onwards, actually, because American Horror Story is a very frustrating show that looks fantastic. It's directed so well. It's cool. It has interesting characters. But then they just do nothing with it. They just don't go anywhere. They just start making shit up. Like, they don't plan the seasons out. They just seem to plan out the aesthetic. They seem to plan out, yeah, we'll start here. This will be the general premise. And then they don't seem to have an idea. Ryan Murphy just kind of begins to make shit up. He's like, how about one with an asylum, yeah? And like maybe somebody is there for the wrong reasons and stuff. There's some creepy stuff going on. Yeah, intriguing, cool. And then what about if we chuck in aliens in like episode 11 or something? I don't know. It just started to get like, I don't know what's going on anymore, man. Like, what are we doing here? Then there is Freak Show, which was one of the stronger seasons. That's why I own it. I stopped buying every single one after that, I guess. Yeah, Freak Show was awesome. Again, though, not the strongest ending, but I did think it was better than Asylum. I did not buy Coven. I hate Coven with a passion. It is the dumbest season of this show. I just hate Coven. Then there is, apparently this is the 8th one, Apocalypse. I didn't like Roanoke. I didn't like Hotel that much. They just kind of seemed like nonsense. Roanoke was boring as fuck. But Apocalypse, good for some of it. Good for, No, Apocalypse is the same. I don't know why I said but. I feel the same way about Apocalypse. It kind of just went nowhere. But Cold is good. Cult, I love Cold, actually. Yeah, no, so this one I bought recently. It was like $8 for the whole season on Blu-ray. That's pretty awesome. And I will probably rewatch that one day because I actually absolutely love Cold. It's probably dated. It's probably going to be pretty dated in years to come. But I did find it pretty damn engrossing and I liked it a lot. Also, 1984, I don't have. These are the ones that I have. But 1984 was actually a really strong season as well. So that's kind of where I am with American Horror Story. It's like some fantastic, some make me want to vomit. Okay, now going into kind of more horror, but getting more into drama. This is kind of a pile of TV shows that I only have like one season of. And yeah, so these are just kind of your random throwaway ones. Being Human, I did remember this one being pretty good, but I don't know if I ever finished it. It's fine. I don't know. Then there is Medium, which I don't really like that much. It kind of just gets very repetitive. Has a good premise, but then it just turns out, oh, dead people. I'll help you now. I'll help you now. Every episode is just, she helps a new person, and the story never really progresses, and it just got really boring. I don't like shows like that, where it's episodic more than it is serialized, or am I getting those two confused? I like an ongoing plot, and Medium kind of stopped being that quick. And then there is Dexter, Season 2. It's the only season of Dexter I have, Season 2. Why? Who knows? Maybe I saw it cheap. I don't know. Season 2 of Dexter. It's a show that I never really got that far into. I did like the first season, but 2 onwards, I don't know. I don't know if I ever finished 2. Then there is Boardwalk Empire, which I've not seen. But I imagine this is really awesome, and I will watch it this year sometime. Then there is The Leftovers, which is a show I have not seen. But I hear it's awesome, and I will probably watch it this year. Then there is Quarry, which is a show I have not seen. I haven't heard it's awesome. I've pretty much never heard anything of it. But it has good ratings, it's probably going to be awesome, and maybe I will watch it this year. And then there's The Wire, which I watched a few episodes of, and it didn't really... I decided I wasn't really in the mood for it at the moment, but I was planning to watch it, try it again, at some point later on. I hear it's awesome, probably will be. I will watch it this year. I've only got season 1 though. So yeah, I think the rest is probably like good to stream. I think it's on streaming. I just got those from an op shop. Like all those ones that I just went through were pretty cheap from what I remember. And then there's a couple seasons, and I've got another one somewhere, I think. I think I've got the 3rd. I don't know, maybe not. 1 and 2 of Revenge, which I do not really like. It's a bunch of rich people who are just like, boo, I'm rich. Kind of like Gilmore Girls, if you've ever seen that. It's just a bunch of people that are like, I'm rich. The private school doesn't like me or something. I'm rich. Did I mention that? And I'm sad. Drama. I feel the same way. Revenge is just kind of like, just not that good to me. I don't know. It's, maybe I'm being too mean. I didn't watch that much of it. My wife liked it, to be honest. But I didn't really care about it all that much. And I don't know, kind of just dropped off. Then there is Smallville. which is a show I've seen some of, but don't really care about watching the rest of. Then, similar to Revenge, Las Vegas, which is alright, I guess. It's fun. You know, it's kind of like one of those shows that when you're a kid, it's on Fox 8 in Australia anyway. It's just on TV on the weekend, and you're like, Las Vegas is on, I guess. Sure, I guess I'll watch an episode. And then it's okay. And then you never watch any more again. Or you do next time it's just on. And you're waiting for, like, The Simpsons to start. Like, after Las Vegas finishes. It's okay. Again, it's one that my wife likes a lot. There's way too many episodes of this. And we've only got the first 2 seasons. I do not know how much I've watched of that. Then there is Heroes, Season 1 and 2, which is a show where I was one of the few people who actually kept watching for quite a while. I think I got to Season 4. I think I watched maybe all of the series. I don't remember. I really fucking loved Heroes Season 1. Loved it so much. Peter Petrelli, man. And Hero. And Nathan Petrelli. And whoever else existed. The cheerleader. Save the cheerleader, save the world. Heroes. It was cool. This was a really cool show. It started to get bad. Only the first season is really worth watching. It probably should have ended there, but I was a fan. Alright, and now it's confession time, babies. Are you ready for this? I have every season of Desperate Housewives, and I've watched the entire series multiple times because I like it quite a bit. Should I be ashamed of that? Probably, yeah. Not because it's like it's for women and this is a women's show. More because it's just trashy bullshit. It is soap opera crap. And you know what? It is and it isn't. It is because, well, it is. But it isn't because it's self-aware. And I think that this show knows that it's that kind of trash. And I think the way I've always looked at it, the way I've always watched it, is that this is kind of a parody of those types of shows. And, like, it gets fucking ridiculous. The dumbest shit happens in this show. There is this one scene that me and my wife absolutely love. It's the funniest fucking thing ever, and it will be forever ingrained in my mind, where there is a evil guy who is a chemist, and he's just walking along or something, or maybe, yeah, he's walking down the street, and he sees some guy who I guess is with the woman he loves or something, one of the main women, and he doesn't like that, and he sees this guy just riding his bike down the street, and he grabs him, he pushes him off his bike or whatever, and he throws him off a bridge, and he kills him. He's dead. That character is dead now. Just the evil fucking chemist pharmacy man. He becomes a murderer, and I think that is not the only person he kills. Yeah, this show is full of murder and dumb shit like that, and just everything is so dramatic, and there's so many cliffhangers, and there's so many people who are like, ooh, you don't know about my dark past. Actually, I have a twin or something. And then one of the families starts a pizza shop in one of the seasons, and this just, oh my god, this show is insane, and I am kind of the big fan of it. Please don't make fun of me. I bet this isn't what you were expecting when you came into this video. Expecting a big old just rant about how good Desperate Housewives is. Fuck off. This is a good show. It's probably good. I haven't watched it for years. I don't know. Maybe it's bad. I don't know. But I liked it when I was a teenager, to be honest, which I was not the target demographic at all. I was not the one who was intended to be watching it, and I watched it years after it had finished. But me and my wife just got really into this show for some reason, and whatever, don't judge me, mate. It's entertaining bullshit. I just think it is aware of how dumb it is, and it's making fun of it. Look, they're dressed as fucking knights or whatever on this cover season, whatever. It's a parody of soap operas. I'm telling you, that's got to be what it is, because it gets so ridiculous. There was an episode in one of the later seasons where they kill somebody. There's a dead guy in their like lounge room, and they have to hide him because they're having a dinner party, and like the dead guy, they're like moving the dead guy around the house like in different spots so people don't see that they've killed somebody. and a plane goes through a building and kills somebody at one point, and because there's a hurricane or something. Like, just the most bizarre shit happens in this show. And I don't know. Whatever. Alright, and now we're getting into Australian content. Don't worry, there's not too much of it. But I do have some. So first up is this Australian drama called Barracuda. It is literally 4 episodes and it is amazing. It's amazing. It's fantastic. It's about an Olympic swimmer, and I don't want to say too much because it will go into spoilers, but let's just say it is about dealing with failure. And it's really, really fucking good. It's boy. I recommend that one to just about everybody. Then there is Thank God You're Here season series, it says 4, which was a comedy show in the 2000s in Australia with lots of Australian comedians where they would walk into a set, and the premise was that they didn't know what was going on. They had to walk into a set with people who have rehearsed and everything. They're doing a play and they're all characters, and the person that walks through the door has to play a character, and they have to improvise what's going on. They have to adjust and figure out who they are as a character, and it's a bunch of improvised comedy, and I used to like it quite a lot. Apparently season 4 is the only one that I have. I don't know. I'm surprised that there even is physical media of this show, to be honest. Like, why is there? I don't know, but I did like it. Yeah, there's a bunch of comedians that were on it. There you go. And then, speaking of Australian comedy, I think both of these guys were regulars on that show. I have every single season or series or whatever of Hamish and Andy, who are Australian comedians. Let's try that again, shall we? Who are Australian comedians who started off on the radio, and I listened to podcasts of them back in the day, and they had a bunch of TV shows, and Gap Year, particularly the best ones, Gap Year Asia. They go to different cities around the world. This one's about New York. There's the Europe one I just showed you. South Africa. I forgot that one even existed. And they're still doing shows like this. They did one last year or the year before. And they're really good. I like these guys a lot. They're funny. If you're Australian, you know them. There was also this other one called True Story, which was kind of this weird... They were the hosts, but it was like acted as well. But it was true stories, crazy stories people told them that were also acted. It's kind of weird. It didn't work the best, but it was okay, and I bought it because I liked it. Yeah, I don't know. I've always been a big fan of these guys, Hamish and Andy. If you don't know who they are, if you're from another country or whatever, look up some of their stuff on YouTube. I'm sure there's really good stuff, particularly their stuff that used to be on a show called Rove Live, which is a show that, it was basically like The Tonight Show or The Late Show or whatever. It was one of our versions of that show in Australia, which we have not really had a good version of prior or since that I know of. Australian TV kind of sucks, man, but Rove Live was fucking good. And then it ended in like 2008, maybe? I don't know. It ended a long time ago. I was still a kid. I was probably too young to even be watching it, but Hamish and Andy were my favourite regulars on the show. And yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan of these guys, and I think pretty much every single... This is like every series that they've brought out, maybe? Maybe there's a few more. No, there are a few more, because they had a few sketch shows, which are apparently terrible, but I've never seen them, so I don't know. And then, speaking of Australian comedians, there is this show called Please Like Me with this guy named Josh Thomas, but this is kind of like a dramedy show. I've only got season 3 and 4. I don't have 1 and 2, unfortunately. I got these for free, actually, at a library, so that was pretty cool. I'm not saying I didn't return these when I had to. They were getting rid of them, and I got them for free. Because I'm making money, man. Like, I'm making money with these. Who knows how far set back I would have been if I had to buy these. Jeez. Really good Australian show. We don't have a lot of shows like this, and it's pretty good. And then he has a stand-up show. Not really a TV show, I suppose, but, you know, I don't know. But I lumped it in with the shows because, I don't know, it's not a movie, is it? So it felt more normal putting it with shows than movies, you know? And then there is this other one that's kind of like a stand-up documentary about Conan O'Brien, who is my favourite talk show host. Though that I know of anyway, there's no way to watch like every episode of the American late night shows in Australia, which is really annoying. Like, I would really like to watch them. There probably is a way, but I haven't been aware of it, and it's really annoying, so I end up only watching clips on YouTube. But from what I have seen, I really love Conan, and then Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon are alright, I don't know, but yeah, Conan, I love. Then there is all of the, well, maybe not all of them, but quite a bit of the Arj Barker stand-up shows. This is my favourite stand-up comedian. I don't really remember which is which, if I'm being honest. There's a few here. One just called Balls, just called Arj Barker Live, one called Heavy, and one called Forever. If you know which is which, congratulations. But yeah, I'm kind of quite a fan of this guy, and I saw him live a few years ago for my birthday as well, which was cool. And he was also doing, he was also doing like signings and stuff after the show. Like, he'd take selfies with people and whatever. And like, I feel so bad, and I regret this to this day, because we saw him, there was like one person there was no line, nobody really gave a shit, and we just kept walking because I felt awkward, and it fills me with anxiety talking to human beings, and I wouldn't have known what to say. I would have been like, big fan, and I would have been annoying, and so I didn't go, but I should have, because it looked like not many people really cared. He was trying to sell his DVDs, and that was another reason I didn't go, because he was trying to sell his DVDs, and I already have him. Like, I already had him at the time, and I didn't want to be like, no, I'm not interested in that, like, fuck off, because that wouldn't have been the case. I am interested because I have them already, and I didn't want to buy them again, and it freaked me out, so I didn't go talk to him. Anyway, that's a very specific story. Yeah. And then I saw Auntie Donna after that night. I saw Auntie Donna live. And they were my favourite live act show that I've ever seen in my life. Glenridge Secondary College, I think, was the show that they were doing. God damn, they are good. But that is irrelevant from this video. Very irrelevant, so never mind. And now I'm going to get a bit controversial, at least when it comes to my wife, because we have a big disagreement when it comes to this show. Criminal Minds. We have this big box set of Criminal Minds, and it's nice. It's, you know, that's kind of cool to have all these. And we also have a few more seasons over here as well. 12, 11, 13, 10. We got 1 to 13. Seasons 1 to 13 of Criminal Minds. And you know what? I fucking despise this show. So, I hate Criminal Minds. I hate it so much. It is a show where the story never progresses. The characters are so one note. They never go anywhere. They have some funny little banter, maybe, in an episode. But pretty much everything else, like, maybe they have a bit of banter for 30 seconds, but everything else is just, hey, the unsub is probably a white guy in his 30s. Probably, yeah. And because I'm like, they're on a phone, I guess. Because I'm the smartest detective man in the world, I'm of course right. And they always are. They're always right about everything. And they're so fucking brilliant. And they're just so boring. And nobody really talks to each other. It's all just detective dialogue where they're all like, the unsub is this and the unsub is that. And this behavior means this. We have to figure out where he's going to strike next and whatever. And what's his MO. They like to use a lot of buzzwords like that. And it bores me to death, and every episode is 40 minutes, and there's a murder, of course, it's always a murder, maybe there's a bit of a rape in there as well, just for fucking fun, I guess, because that's great, what a fun topic for a show, and then somebody dies, and then they go out to some city in America, and they solve the crime, and we find out that the murderer was no, that's another reason I hate this show. No, I'm wrong about that. I hate a lot of cop shows because it's like, the killer was that guy over there in the blue hat standing over there in the corner. The guy that you weren't paying attention to is just some random guy. That's the killer. But no, Criminal Minds isn't even a mystery. You know who did it the entire time, and you're just watching the cops. It kind of makes the cops look dumb, actually, because it's like, we see who it is, and then I don't know, it's not even a fun mystery. It's just, there's not even like, I hate this show so much. But what I hate most about it is just that it's a show that never progresses the story. There's no character development for the main cast. They are all one-note detective people who just have all the same personality. All their dialogue can be interchanged, with whoever. It doesn't matter who's saying what. They're all just saying detective things. Occasionally, you'll get a bit of character. And when you do, I genuinely actually like the show when you do get that stuff. If the show was really about the characters, I might not mind it. It might be okay. But instead, the show is about these random victims and murderers every episode, and you never learn very much about who these people are, and you never really learn that much or get invested in the actual investigations either, because for one, it's not a mystery and you know who did it, and for two, if there's a victim, they're dead already, who cares? And the killer, they're one note as well. They're just like some killer, and they always come up with some kind of motivation, but it's never interesting. I might make a rant video about this one day, even though I've already kind of done that, and I don't really want to talk too badly about it. I'm not trying to go way too hard on it, because my wife really loves this show, and I feel bad, but I really hate it. Moving on. I don't know if these are in the right order, but Simpsons seasons 1 to 10. And I do have a couple more. There are a few more seasons, but they are... they're behind. They're buffer seasons, because no one really cares about The Simpsons after season 10. I will argue that 11, 12 maybe are okay. You get to that, maybe 13. I don't know. But, yeah, beyond that, it's pretty much like The Walking Dead in that The Simpsons really should have stopped. Seriously should have stopped. But, yeah, those first seasons, like 2 to 8 or 10 or whatever, is just the most quotable fucking thing ever. It is so close to my heart. The Simpsons is my childhood. I quote it probably daily. I love The Simpsons. The early ones, that is. Like the 90s Simpsons is just classic stuff. But that brings us to Futurama, which is a show that no, is not as close to my heart. No, it's not as special as The Simpsons, but it might be better than The Simpsons. I think that it is a stronger show. I think it's funnier. I think that there is more heart in there. The Simpsons is very funny, but I think Futurama gets you to actually care about some of the characters, at least in key episodes, maybe a bit more than The Simpsons does. A lot of Simpsons episodes are just very silly. Yes, there are nice moments in there, like the Do It For Her thing with Homer's poster and everything at his work. And a few episodes like that. The episode where he thinks he's going to die. And then, oh my god, in the fields. But Futurama though, Luck of the Fry Fish Man, have you seen that episode? And Jurassic Park. Oh, don't get me started on Jurassic Park, because I will cry right here, right now. If I begin to think about that too much, it is the best episode of this series by far. And maybe of TV ever. I don't know. Jurassic Park is great. Even if you don't like Futurama, please watch Jurassic Park. I don't know what season it is, but it's 1 to 4, because this is seasons 1 to 4. For some reason, season 4 came in separate discs. I think I got this literally from the supermarket, from Coles, at separate times. Also, 20th Century Fox. I love that. That's funny. And I guess we're in animation now, because now I'll go for a few of these where I've got Ninja Turtles Season 3, Box 1, Ninja Turtles Volume 6, Volume 4, Season 3, Box 2, and Meet Casey Jones. This is a DVD that literally has 3 episodes in it. Meet Casey Jones, Nano, and Darkness on the Edge of Town. Anyway, this was a Ninja Turtles cartoon from 2003, and it was also my childhood like The Simpsons. This was my life for a while. It was on Cheese TV, I believe, in Australia. A segment with cartoon shows. They played like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Dragon Ball Z and stuff. And it was awesome. And this is really like, everyone probably has like, you hear about everyone having their version of Batman. Like, who's Batman to you? Is it Ben Affleck? Is it... Probably not Ben Affleck, right? Is it Christian Bale? Is it Michael Keaton? who's your version of Batman? Is it the animated series one? Whatever. I also think the same can be said for Ninja Turtles. Who is your version of Ninja Turtles? You know, is it the Michael Bay ones? Is it the original ones? You know, for me, it's the 2003 TV show ones. Because, fuck yeah, I absolutely love this show and this version of those characters. And then next up is SpongeBob, seasons 1 and 3. Don't have 2, don't have further than that. SpongeBob is a show that I admire for its animation. I love that it can make those ugly faces and just be kind of funny like that. But it's kind of a bit too childish for me. I know it's like a meme icon. I know that people my age generally pretty much all love this show. For me, I don't know. I didn't really watch it when I was a kid. I don't have the nostalgia for it. But my wife did and loves it. So we have a couple seasons of it. I generally like it. Like it can be funny. But it's also just really annoying. I just find SpongeBob pretty annoying, and I'm not really in love with it. Similar deal for Drake and Josh Suddenly Brothers. This is the first few episodes of this TV series. It's not a show that I watched when I was a kid at all, but I've seen the entire series since as an adult because of my wife, because she loves it. And it's an okay show. There's good stuff in there. I like the characters and whatever. I like Drake Bell and Josh Peck. But this is a kid's show. Like, it's not that compelling. I don't know. I don't have too much to say about it. This is only 4 episodes. Pilot, 2 Idiots and a Baby, Dune Buggy, and First Crash. And I do not remember what any of those episodes are about. I mean, I guess you can figure it out. You know, Dune Buggy, I guess they get a Dune Buggy and whatever. But, yeah, not a show that will be special to me in my life, I would say. But my wife is a fan because she watched it when she was a kid. So, yeah. Alright, and now we are nearly done. Getting to the end, this is the last kind of pile here. These are like my favorites pretty much. So first up is the IT Crowd. The IT Crowd is the funniest show I've ever seen in my entire life. It is the best comedy, and I'm sorry because I know the creator is like transphobic or something, but if you ask me, I don't know, that's irrelevant if you ask me. I love this show. I can't pretend I don't. I do. It's so good. Yeah, so seasons 1 to 4 in this slipcase and stuff. But you can stream it. I've rewatched it streaming as well. But I am glad that I own it though, because this is the funniest show I've ever seen in my life. The episode with the German cannibal, the episode in the theater. There's just really classic stuff in here. Those are the 2 that come to mind. The episode where they're trying to be men, they're trying to prove that they're men, and then they meet these men who turn out to be criminals and everything. Yeah, it's a really fucking good show. It is so good. And this is the last episode. This is just like one DVD of the last episode, which is about 40-50 minutes long. And it's not as good as the whole series, but you know, it's still good. It was definitely still worth having. I'm absolutely in love with this show. I would highly recommend it. It's good. Then there is Bates Motel. Only seasons 1 to 3. I got this one from a video shop. I guess they was probably closing down. I really like this show. It's literally one of my favorite shows of all time. And I'm rewatching it right now, currently. Not right now, obviously. I'm shooting a video. But I'm in the middle of season 2 right now, rewatching it with my family, my parents and my wife. My wife and me are showing my parents this show because, I don't know, it's a good show and we wanted to. So, yeah, fuck yeah. Then there is Prison Break. Why did I say it like that? Then there's Prison Break. I believe this is all of them. Is it the final break? Was there something after this? There might have been. I don't know. But by the end, by like season 4, they start to become like super spies and it gets really dumb and I really don't like season 4. But the first 3 seasons, particularly 1 and 2, are fucking great. This is a really good show. If you haven't seen it, I would say that it still holds up. It's really, really good. Every single episode ends with a cliffhanger. You don't know how they're going to get out of it. It's like they're in the middle of digging a hole through the floor in the prison because they're trying to escape. But then the guard is about to come. They're about to get caught. But then the episode ends and it's like, what happens next? And then you watch it and like the guard is like, actually, I'm just gonna go this way. Never mind. And it's nothing, and they just continue digging. Like every episode is like that. But it's really, really good. Michael Scofield, man. Wentworth Miller is awesome in this show. Yeah, it's very... What year was this? Like 2005 or whatever? Like, I get that. You know, it feels a bit outdated in the structure, a little bit. But it really holds up, if you ask me. Yeah, I really like it. But it does get dumber and dumber with each season. And I don't even remember what the fuck the final break is. Are these episodes? Is this a movie? Who knows? I don't know. But it's a good show. Speaking of good shows, Hannibal. Man, Hannibal. This is the entire series. There were only 3, unfortunately. It really should have kept going, but it got cancelled during season 3, which resulted in season 3 getting super rushed. And because of it, it's not that good. The first half of season 3 in particular really sucks because the pacing gets all fucked up because clearly they were making this slow, paced out version of a season 3, found out that it got cancelled, and then had to rush everything that they were intending to do for the rest of the series, which I'm not sure how many seasons they had planned, but it wasn't just 3, I'm telling you that much. But still, it's a very, very good show. The ending is still good. It's not completely ruined, but nothing touches season 2. Season 2 is something special, man. It is intense. It is slow, though. It is artful, beautiful, really dark. This is, yeah, really good. Season 1 is also really good, but it's a little bit like Criminal Minds, a little bit, to be honest, where the story isn't really progressing all that much. It's very case of the week. Like every episode, Will Graham has to solve another mystery and whatever, and it gets a little bit repetitive and boring, and I'm not the biggest fan, but it is very well done, and it does go that little bit further to make it about the characters rather than just about the mysteries and the investigations and stuff. It's about the people, not just about FBI people, you know? I don't like shows that are just about FBI investigations. They bore me to fucking tears. I do not like any of those types of shows. But this one is more about the characters. It's more personal. It's very, very dark. It's got more of a horror edge to it. And Mads Mikkelsen as Hannibal is flawless. Such a good character. And finally, this is the last one. I wanted to finish it off with my favorite TV show of all time. It's Breaking Bad, baby. Breaking Bad, seasons 1, 2. Do I have to do this every... Yep. 3, 4, which is maybe the best season. 5, and 5, part 2 or 6, however you want to look at it. I kind of look at it as 6, but whatever. Apparently it's 5, but sure, I mean, it's 6 if you ask me. But anyway, Breaking Bad is the best show that has ever been, ever has been, ever will be. Breaking Bad is perfect in every single way. Jesse Pinkman is my boy. I love that character so damn much. El Camino, because of that, I don't absolutely love, because they kind of turned Jesse Pinkman into a killer. I think it kind of fundamentally misunderstands the source material of Breaking Bad, if you ask me. He's not meant to be a cold-blooded killer. He's not meant to be Walter White 2.0. He's meant to be Jesse Pinkman, a sympathetic kid who got in over his head. Anyway, this was clearly a show that was very planned out. They knew exactly what they were doing, and it's funny. It's way more funny than you would expect, particularly the first couple of seasons. Like, this is borderline a dramedy, basically. This is borderline, like, I don't know. It's really funny. It's also really dark and really dramatic. Really, 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 really well done. When you're watching an episode of Breaking Bad, you know it straight away because of the angles that they shoot things with, because of the editing, the music that they use. It's so identifiable, so unique. Breaking Bad is something that is just so damn special, and I don't think we're going to get a show that is as perfect as my baby Breaking Bad. And I should buy the whole series. I should buy the box set on Blu-ray, or is there a 4K? I don't know. I don't know if there is, and I personally can't even really see the difference between Blu-ray and 4K, at least on my TV, if I'm being honest. But if there is a 4K, it deserves it, and I will get it on 4K one day, because Breaking Bad is absolute perfection. I want to kiss and hug it. I want to just bathe myself in Breaking Bad because it's so good. It's just perfect. It's just so perfect. And that's all. I'm not going to get too deep into it. I might make a video essay type of thing on Breaking Bad one day. I've been meaning to. And I watched it. Oh, I watched the entire series a couple of years ago. Was it last year? Was it the year before? I don't know. What's time? COVID fucked things up. Whenever it is that I watched it, I was like, I'm going to make a video about this. But then I made a Avengers Endgame credit thing of it. The credits with the cast. And you know what? It wasn't that good. But it did get 600 or so views, which isn't terrible for me. But I should do a video essay. That's much more respectful. I can get deep into what it's about and all that shit. Anyway, that's all. I'm done. That is all the shows that I have. That's all my TV collection. Thanks for watching and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. Sorry it took so long. Looking at it now, while having not edited this down, which I will, it has gone for 1 hour and 10 minutes. So maybe I'll get this down to 50 minutes, maybe just an hour flat. I will see, I suppose, when I'm editing, won't I? But that's for me. Okay, TV shows. Breaking Bad is the best TV show of all time. Thanks very much. I'll see you next time with other videos about movies and stuff. I nearly kind of fell just then. Okay, and that is all. Thank you for watching. Do the things. You know what the things are. The things that all the YouTubers say. Do them, please, right now. Thanks very much. Goodbye. Catch you next time, babies.